They're all that's left. Tonight, the lone SFL unbeaten, the 5-0 Denver Nightwings, are on the road at the Thunderdome in Chicago, where the 4-2 Wildcats will give them quite possibly their biggest test of the season. Jared McChesney has been the hero through 5 weeks for Denver, the #1 running back in the SFL. Jared Willis ain't too shabby either. A game on the ground and a game of fun starts right now. Welcome to the Thunderdome, ladies and gentlemen, the MeUndies U-Vote Fan Night Game of the Week for week number 7. Alongside Andy Hamilton on stats, Stephen Mullinex, I'm Cameron Irvine. How you doing, Stephen?
Great to be here, Cam. Man, what a great matchup we have tonight, determined by the fans. They never steer us wrong, Cam, and tonight I don't think it'll be any different. Get ready for a barn burner here in Chicago.
The coin toss is coming up next, right here on Twitch.
Let's have a good one. Good to see you again.
Two teams down on the field.
Gentlemen, please make your call.
Denver
Give us
in the
heads.
white jerseys, black pants, with the feathers down the side.
Heads it is.
It is heads. Denver has won the toss. They will choose to defer to the second half. And here in the beautiful confines of the Thunderdome, we're about to get underway. Stephen, what are your keys to the game?
Well, these are two teams that want to run the football, expect a lot of smash mouth football tonight. Keys for Denver, two things that really transfer well on the road, the run game and defense. Expect a lot of McChesney tonight, and the defenses want to get pressure on E.T. King. For Chicago, it's all about home cooking, baby. Nearly 22 points average at home. In their last 2 away games, they scored 17 points total. They love to play here in Chicago.
It's the Fan Night Game of the Week, and Jackman's got the ball on the tee. Denver with a hand in the air, and ladies and gentlemen, kick it. We are underway. Deep kick to the 2-yard line. This is Corey Carter on the return past the 20, 30 to the 34-yard line to pick up the start of the offensive drive for Chicago.
Well, Corey Carter starting it off right here in the Windy City, blowing past some of these special teamers for Denver and giving his offense really great field position to start.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line for Chicago. E.T. King is their quarterback, and with 3 receivers, the handoff goes to Jared Willis, and Willis is going to pick up 8 on his first carry. A nice start for the Chicago ground game.
Yeah, and Willis getting hung up there behind a blocker, but does a good job of finding a way through that traffic and getting 8 yards there on his first rushing attempt on the night.
So 2nd and 2, Denver black helmeted tonight. Chicago in their primary uniforms with the silverish white helmets and pants, white numbers, orange trim down the side. With 1 receiver to the top of the screen, it's 2nd and 2 at the 42. Hand off to Willis, and Willis is stopped momentarily but is pushed ahead for a first down, making the tackle B.J. Armstrong and company.
Yeah, as a defensive coordinator, hate to see that, Cam. You've got the guy stopped at the line of scrimmage or in front of it before it, and then your own defender comes in and pushes the pile over the first down marker. Hate to see that.
4 receivers, 3 to the left side for King, now going empty. 3-2 look for the Denver defense. Back to pass, King going long. King's pass is incomplete, nobody out there. And the pass was intended for J.C. Torres, and I'm not sure what happened, Steven. Did you see anything?
Yeah, I think I saw him reach down for his hamstring, so I think maybe he pulled up a little bit lame, trying to go deep to him early, probably just not warmed up enough, but he should still be out there. Yeah, he is. So he's going to battle through it, but yeah, I think he just came up a little lame there.
2nd down and 10 on King's first attempted pass of the night. 2 receivers, 1 to either side, and Denver stack in the box. Hand off to Willis. They were prepared for it, and Willis is wrapped up from behind. Bailey Baca getting his first tackle of the night. It'll force the first 3rd down of the game for Chicago.
Yeah, and we talked about this pregame, Cam. Chicago averaging 42% on third down conversions. That's the worst percentage in the league. That's a key to this game for Chicago. They've got to convert these third downs.
3rd down and 8, adjusting the volumes according to the chat. Let me know if that sounds any better. King gonna check down to Carter, and Corey Carter made a man miss. That was beautiful in the slot for the 1st down. I can't believe he got the 1st down on that little check down.
Cam, we see players like this happen, things like this happen in the game where a player gets hot. Early signs from Corey Carter. He may have a legendary game tonight.
Carter, I remember one game specifically when Chicago was here in the Thunderdome against London, went off and had a couple long touchdowns, a kickoff return for a score as well. Loves playing in Chicago. Handoff, Willis breaks a tackle, and Jared Willis dragging a defender down to the 33-yard line, making the tackle eventually. Bandito, but Chicago moving into field goal range on their opening drive.
Well, the fullback Freeney actually missed a block in the middle, but lucky for him, Willis was able to break that tackle and get that gain for 7 yards.
All right, 2nd down and 3 at the 33-yard line for Chicago. King gonna throw and a 3-step drop. Out route caught. Shan Varner, 1st down at the 28-yard line. Nicholas Warner makes the stop. This drive approaching 3 minutes.
Yeah, Cam, I think that was actually Matthew Lee in coverage, and he actually was in position to maybe knock that ball down, maybe get an interception, but he backed off in the coverage and gave just a little bit too much space, allowing the 1st down.
The receiver to the top of the screen, Buchanan Simons. Torres still at the bottom of the screen being defended by Armstrong. 2 in the backfield, and a throw from King out to Willis. Willis can have to do it all himself, makes one man miss, but only picks up a yard as he didn't have much blocking help out there. 2nd and 9 of the Denver 28. .7:28 to go. Andy Hamilton, Stephen Mullinex, and Cameron Irvine with you here. And with 3 in the backfield, Willis gets the carry. Willis breaks away, and that's a touchdown for Chicago on their opening drive. Home cooking for the Wildcats as they get the first points of the night.
Well, Cam, just extraordinary blocking here, and then at the end of the play, referee, get out of the way. Willis is coming through. The Willis train is going straight to the station, but just does a good job of breaking that initial tackle, and then again bumping into his own blockers, but they hold long enough for him to get around, knock that referee down, get in the end zone.
Boy, what a start for the Wildcats. Denver has not trailed too much this season. They're the #1 offense in the league, and what's the best defense against the #1 offense? Keeping them off the field. A 3-minute, 48-second drive for Chicago. And the extra point coming here from Jesus Garcia. Good snap, good hold. And the extra point is good for Chicago. It's 7-0. Wildcats on top of the Night Wings early. The Simulation Football League is sponsored by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. By Extraordinary Everest, heartfelt messages on the most extraordinary place on earth. Bit Central and Fuel, transforming SFL media in 2019. And Harry's Razors, all you need for a close, comfortable shave. This is Vega on the return, up to the 31-yard line, and for the first time ever, Stephen, you and I get to experience Josh Miller and this Denver Nightwing offense.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Cam, #1 ranked offense in the league, averaging 36 points a game. But they don't necessarily do that through passing. Ranked 18th in passing, #1 rushing offense, averaging 167 yards on the ground per contest.
7:08 to go in the first quarter. Jared McChesney gets the handoff, and he gets blasted by, I believe, Jesse Vick. Clint Hendershot also there. No gain on the play, and some bit shout-outs right now. That real imp guy, 500 bits, his first bits ever cheered, or his or her first bits ever cheered. Thank you very much. 100 bits from Max Jackson earlier in the broadcast. And R. Cochran getting involved early with 500 bits. Appreciate all of your support. And a Cloud Fuel here in tonight. And now a subscriber of Tier 1 for 10 months in a row as Jared McChesney gets 5 on his second carry of the night.
Well, this excellent linebacker core here in Chicago, Dylan Rowland, Clint Hendershot, they have got their hands full tonight with Jared McChesney, 811 yards through 5 games. This guy's an absolute beast.
Big 3rd and down here. They're going to give it off to McChesney, and McChesney's not going to get there. Dylan Rowland makes the tackle, and Denver goes 3 and out on their opening series, and the unbeaten Nightwings, fresh off of a bye, are getting a taste of Wildcat medicine right now.
Right, in Chicago, this is exactly where you want this undefeated Denver team to be. Uncomfortable, already down 7. They go 3 and out. Chicago has another chance to put points on the board, and it may force the Nightwings to go to their passing game, which they haven't done a lot this season.
Halfway through the first quarter, that punt is away from Lily Long, one of a handful of women in the SFL, as Carter returns it up to the 29-yard line. So 5.5 to go. Quick stat look is E.T. King, 4 of 5, 25 yards on that opening drive, and 4 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown for Jared Willis.
Yeah, Andy Hamilton keeping stats for us tonight. Appreciate that. Me and Andy have a pact. If we both turn a certain age and we're not married yet, we're going to marry each other.
Wow, that's very nice.
Yeah,
let me know when that date is so we can make arrangements. As King will fire it out to Willis. It would be the first SFL wedding, I think, as Willis loses 2 yards. 24-on-24 crime out there as Matthew Lee makes the stop.
Well, Cam, you're going to be the priest, so that's going to work out perfectly. That'll be, and then when instead of you may kiss the groom, you're just going to say kick it, and then that's how we'll end it.
Awesome. 2nd and 12. I'm going to that's a lot of paperwork to become one of those ministers. I'm going to have to work on that. 2nd and 12. At the 27, King's out of the gun with 3 receivers, and King will quickly flip it out to Willis. Willis has some space, but a nice open field tackle by B.J. Armstrong, just a tremendous asset to this Nightwings team. Came over from the San Antonio Vaqueros after they were successfully sold and moved to Denver.
Yeah, Willis, really great receiving threat out of the backfield. That's his 40th reception on the season through 6 games.
So 3rd and 7 at the 32. 4 receivers now, and King is going for it all, and King's pass is intercepted. Armstrong got a block going back the other way, and Armstrong eventually wrestled down by the slot receiver there, Austin Matrullo, but Denver gets the first defensive stand of the night.
And Cam, would you believe that's only Armstrong's 2nd interception on the season? This guy was a Pro Bowler last season, and that's typically a side of the field that you do not want to attack for good reason, as you see there.
Man, looking for Torres again, and the first time he looked towards his direction, couldn't find him the football. 2 targets, no catches for JC so far tonight. 2 receivers and McChesney in the backfield. Miller has not thrown a pass in the first quarter. Handoff McChesney, run number 4. Jared McChesney, the league's #1 running back so far this season, gets a first down to the 35-yard line.
Well, you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him, and that's what Chicago's hoping to do tonight. You know it's at some point that this guy is going to show up and show up big for his team. Just how much does Denver trust him? They ran him on 3rd and long on the previous series. That's how much they trust this guy and believe that he's going to take this team to the promised land.
Chat shoutouts, Eddie Gage, Code Gaming HR, Fruit Back Attack, Black Star 1014. As McChesney picks up 1, A.J. Barnes on the tackle. Guapulator 303, Udonsha, Avery Allen, Denver Nightwings, Neon Killer, Skull Viking 944. A new face in the chat, although I feel like I've seen him a couple of times. And a special shout out to the Red Zone podcast that I got a chance to be a part of. I was their guest this weekend, and search Red Zone podcast on YouTube, and hopefully that podcast is either up or going to be up very, very soon. It was a lot of fun Friday night. That pass caught by Logan Keel, first down to the Chicago 16-yard line, and just like that, the Nightwings are in the red zone on Miller, first pass of the night.
Yeah, I was about to mention, Cam, that they're right on the edge of field goal range, but they just got a whopping load of yardage right there to put them in the red zone, as you mentioned, the Red Zone podcast. And they are on the verge here of lighting it up, as they've done all season.
So 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Out of the eye in a against the nickel. That handoff to McChesney, and he pulls over a defender. That was Jesse Vick saying hello to the ground, as McChesney now has Denver in a 1st and goal at the 6.
Well, just a great play call and just a trail of blockers in front of him that he follows. And then look here, he not only puts the guy on the ground, but nearly steps on him as he steps over him to get that 1st down.
That wasn't right. You can't treat a guy like a carpet. Come on now.
We saw a lot of that today. We've seen some running backs really go after these defenders with some furious running.
At least take your shoes off first. 3 in the backfield, 1st to go at the 6. Handoff McChesney. He will rumble into the end zone for a touchdown. And Denver quickly ties the game.
Cam, there are statement runs, and then there are giant billboards. And this was a giant billboard run here for McChesney, just putting his shoulder in the chest of the defender and flattening him at the goal line. No one was going to stop this man from scoring 6.
So the extra point coming. Obviously, I meant tying the game pending. You never know in the SFL, but the snap is good, hold is good, and the old school 20-yard extra point is up and in. Well, Steven, if you missed any action in Week 7, here were the Week 7 headlines so far. Aztecs defense, they've allowed 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. Zach Sandlin, almost 18 yards a carry today. Goal line stand for Houston. They avoid a 1-6 start. Don't look now, but the 2-time defending champions are in 4th place at 4-2. And Queen City, since losing to Chicago on opening night, has won 5 in a row as Corey Carter returns up to the 25-yard line. What has stood out to you in Week 7 so far?
Well, I think it's even more in Week 7. I think it's Mexico City and their dominance defensively. 2 back-to-back shutouts by this Aztec defense. I mean, it's almost unheard of, and the pace that they're playing at is a championship pace. Obviously, Onoramos Land and his group have 1 championship. They are in good position to maybe have 2.
5 carries, 48 yards for Willis, and there's a flag down. MeUndies Laundry on the field, and let's take a listen in to the real R62. Offside on Denver. That is called on Heath Bars. And that'll bring up a 1st and 5 coming up. MeUndies are the world's most comfortable underwear. Visit MeUndies.com/simulationFL for 15% off your purchase, which will help support the SFL through our partnership. Give the gift of comfort with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, free shipping and returns, signature soft and stretchy MeUndies, as the Wildcats off the Nightwings accepted penalty of a 1st and 5 at the 30 with 1:45 to go in the 1st quarter. Hand off to Willis, and Jared Willis is near a 1st down, but McCree and B.J. Armstrong make the wrap-up. First time we've gotten to mention Marty McCree tonight.
And Cam, this is exactly what we expected from both of these offenses. We expected them to be very committed to the running game and then do just enough in the passing game to allow them to run again.
1:18 to go, and Willis will get another carry. Goes right for the defender and gets tackled in the backfield. He ran right into Landon Mack and said, "Come at me, bro," and Mack ends up winning the battle.
Yeah, Cam, just a bad angle there by the running back. If he went more north-south, I think he gets the 1st down conversion there. Instead, they put him in a 3rd and 2. I still expect them to run. They love to run the football, but they may want to try and surprise this defense.
2 backs and 2 receivers, 45 seconds to go in the 1st. Tie ball game at 7. The game of the week, 3rd down and 2. King going long. King's pass again, knocked away on that left side of the field. That is McCree coming over from his free safety position to swat it away from Varner, and Chicago's going to have to punt the football for the 1st time tonight.
Yeah, King looking for his big tight end there, but I just think the pass was a little lackadaisical, Cam, and just didn't get enough oomph on it to get it over the defender and into his big tight end's hands.
All right, so Chicago punting. Their punter, Malcolm Perrin, 6'1", 204. King's now 6 of 9, but just 28 yards and an interception. So Denver's defense has really clamped down on him. From the 28, Vega up to the 33. On the other side, Miller's still only thrown 1 pass. The quarter's nearly over. And McChesney, 7 carries, 35 yards and a score.
Well, after that initial firepower shown by Chicago, their offense has suddenly gone limp, Cam, and Denver's starting to show signs of why they are currently 5-0 in the standings.
So Keel is at the bottom of the screen there. McChesney off to the left. And a nickel look from Chicago's defense. This is Miller going to be sacked in the backfield. An 8-yard loss coming out of nowhere was Donnie Odom.
Yeah, Cam, the defender just having that high motor continues to push and push and push until he gets back there to the quarterback. Just a lot of time for the quarterback to be sitting back there and not feel that pressure right in front of him.
So that puts Miller in a bind. 2nd down and 18. Not a down and distance that Denver wants to live in. 3 receivers. And Miller drops to throw. Deep ball. Intercepted by A.J. Barnes. And Barnes returns up to the 34-yard line as we end the first quarter of play.
Well, just a dangerous pass here. Nothing but black jerseys in the area. And what a lightning quick response by the veteran Barnes. This guy's been in the league a long time, making a lot of plays like that.
End of the first quarter. You are watching the MeUndies You Vote Fan Night Game of the Week in week number 7 on the SFL Network on Twitch TV. Stay tuned. Start of the second, this is King at the 33-yard line of Denver off the Barnes interception, who coincidentally also wears 33. And King will float one over the middle into traffic, caught at the 18-yard line for a first down, a pickup of about 16 yards. That's finally J.C. Torres getting a connection.
Yeah, Cam, we've mentioned it there in the first quarter. They just couldn't connect up with each other. And here it's just a nice route. There's plenty of traffic and plenty of defenders around him, but E.T. King delivers a dime right to his receiver, makes it easy for Torres this time.
10:36 to go, first half, all square at 7. King back to throw, fires a floater, tipped by McCree, and then attempting to make the tackle there was Warner, but if he would have kept his head up a little bit longer, he would have had an interception there in the end zone.
Yeah, King trying to lay down one in there, but just a great athletic play by McCree, able to get up in the air and tip that ball away.
King's been pretty risky, 7 of 11, 44 yards, averaging just 4 yards per attempt with that lone pick. Both defenses have been solid tonight. King changing the play at the line with 2 in the backfield, going to throw. King fires it outside. Torres wide open on an out route, picks up 5. And Chicago's gone a little bit more to the air after Willis got 44 yards on the ground early.
Yeah, I think they've seen their offense struggle a little bit with the run there in their second and third series. So turning the offense more to a passing game in order maybe to try to open things up for the run later.
All right, 4 receivers for King. And press coverage on the line. It doesn't matter. Touchdown to Buchanan Simons. Simons' first catch and first target of the night, and Chicago regains the lead.
Well, Simons here just beelines it right to the center of the field, and no defender can stay with him, and E.T. King just eyeballs him the entire way. He's going to Simons the entire time, and he just locks onto him until he sees it opening and shoots a strike right there through that passing window.
So off of the Miller interception, which was just his second pass attempt of the night, the Wildcats turn points into touchdowns as Chicago will come on to attempt the extra point and try to take a 7-point lead. Snap a little behind the holder, but it's good. 14-7, Chicago back in front. And Stephen, a lot has been made about Denver's unbeaten record, about the schedule that they've played. What have you seen out of the Nightwings? You got to see them a few weeks ago just personally, but what do you see out of the Nightwings that tells you, hey, I don't care who they've played, this team is one of the best, if not the best team in the league right now?
Well, they get all the acclaim because of their offense, specifically their running game, and just what a great year McChesney's having at running back. But I think their defense, Cam, is really underrated, and they've gone in and they've really limited some of the best offenses here in the SFL, and I don't think they get enough credit for it. You know, limiting St. Louis to 3 points in their last game before the bye week, Cam. Like, even though maybe it's St. Louis and people see them at the bottom of the standings or near the bottom, to limit any team here in the SFL to 3 points says a lot about your defense.
1st and 10 at the 28 for the Nightwings, who find themselves once again trailing by 7. Handoff to McChesney running right, breaks a tackle, and then Barnes lays him out after an 8-yard pickup. That's the 2nd tackle for Barnes. Rowland has 3, and McCree has 3 with 2 passes defended. Those next-level stats brought to you by Andy Hamilton on our live stats team tonight. 2nd and 2 at the 36. This is Miller under center. He'll throw, and he's sending everyone long, and Miller's pass incomplete. Looking for, let's see, who? That was R.J. Decker. One name that we haven't mentioned tonight is Hiapo Kinloa, who was the 4th pick in the draft and has made a huge impact on this offense.
Yeah, 345 yards off 22 receptions for the number 4 pick in the draft. Haven't called his name yet tonight, but a big part of their offense for sure.
2 receivers, 1 to either side. That's the big, tall Giacomo Jones at the bottom of the screen. Miller going to throw on 3rd down and 2. Dumps it off short. McChesney does the rest. 1st down to the 39, a pickup of 3 as he takes on a host of Wildcats.
Yeah, Cam, you know, something that I've noticed early on, and this is probably part of the offensive game plan here for Denver, is that they're going to run the ball with McChesney, of course, but they're also looking deep. Must have saw something in the scouting against the Chicago defense to make them think they can hit something deep in the passing game against them.
2 receivers, both to the top, as Miller changes the play. Chicago backs off just a little bit. McChesney off the left side. 8 on the play clock. And Miller taking his time, down to 5, down to 4. Don't often see that on a 1st down. Miller looking long down the middle, tipped by Barnes and almost caught by Jones, trying to head track that football. And he would have gone for 6 if he could have located it, but another tremendous play by A.J. Barnes in the 1st half.
Cam, one thing we haven't talked about here is Chicago is a veteran crew. There is no rookies in the main roster for this team. Every player has 2 years or more experience on both sides of the ball for Chicago.
And they were the first team in league history to re-sign all 12 of their players back in the squad. Either 1st or 2nd. I think Mexico City may have done it 1 year. Deep ball, Miller, and that's knocked away by Jesse Vick. Vega was the intended receiver, Vick in coverage, and now it's 3rd down and 10. Josh Miller is 2 of 6 now.
Yeah, Cam, clearly Denver saw something they want to take advantage of, and they are testing this veteran defense here of the Wildcats. You know, 2 of the best safeties in the SFL, and Spurgeon and Barnes, both of them have been in the league 7 seasons each. Just gives you an idea of the experience and the level of play that they have there in the secondary.
500 bits from Ron Cochran. Thank you so much for your support. Congratulations on a win earlier today in Alaska. Miller to throw. Again, just 2 of 6 so far. Giacomo Jones is held up by Rowland. Rowland's 4th tackle already tonight. And Denver is going to come up short, 4th and 2. Do you think about going for it maybe?
Maybe. I mean, look who you have, as your running back. Arguably the best running back in the league, and that's always going to be an option. Maybe try to get him off sides. May have to spend a timeout, but probably worth it here in the 2nd quarter.
And they go heavy here with 8.5 to go. Did they get the look they wanted out of Chicago's defense? Down to 10. It appears that they didn't. Chicago holding firm, and Denver will burn the timeout on the road. Chicago 4 and 2. Their 2 losses coming on the road. They've been very good at home, struggled on the road, but this Thunderdome has been rocking for years now.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity to talk to Shane Varner, the owner of Chicago, about the kind of ups and downs and the roller coaster it's been, and as far as how they play at home and how they play it away or on the road. And they look like 2 different teams. A team that can beat Queen City and Mexico City early on into the season, and then they get blown out by Vancouver and London, and just don't look like the same team when they have to travel.
So off the punt, this is Carter from the 15. Corey Carter makes 3 people miss and returns it 14 yards up to the 29. You mentioned it earlier, Steven. You called it, really. Sometimes, man, it just looks like there's a glimmer in the eye of an SFL superstar in the making, and Corey Carter's having himself a night so far.
Yeah, one of those things, Cam, where everything's going your way. You had your favorite meal. Everything's just worked out for you, and then it just translates on the field. Sometimes we'll see these players shine in particular games.
2 backs, 1 receiver. Chicago up 7. This is King under center, turns and hands off to Willis. Jared Willis off the trap, picks up 7. Matthew Lee and 1 other Nightwing in there on the tackle. And I haven't seen too much out of Jeremy Vega, the owner of the Nightwings, probably up and pacing in the owner's box. How do you watch your team play, Steven? What's the game day like?
Game day is typically not, honestly. I mean, sometimes it just means so much to some of us. It's just hard to watch, even when you're doing well.
Willis, first down, plenty of room on the outside of the 49-yard line. Sir, you're not saying that you literally can't watch, that you blindfold yourself. Is that what you're saying?
No, there'll be times where I'm just checking in. I'm not necessarily going through every down live, just because it is such an emotional roller coaster. I'm at an age where that could be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, there could be some serious health risk in doing that. No, there are just some games that are like that they're so pressure-filled, and you want to do so well, not just for your team, not just for yourself, but all of those loyal players that you have in the locker room. It's a lot of pressure.
Doing a backfield handoff, Willis, and Willis is stuffed. That is the Week 2 signing, Mike Sawchuk, the rookie linebacker, 6'4", 260, taking the place of Echo Love from earlier in the season.
Yeah, Cam, and the defense just did a good job of flooding those rushing lanes right in the center of the field and not giving Willis anywhere to go.
7 minutes left, 2nd and 10. Right now, Chicago in control, but not by much. King flip outside, pass caught to the 47-yard line. Brings up 3rd down and 5 coming up. That's Trevor Driver with his first catch.
And these passing offenses, obviously we've seen the commitment to the run tonight. These passing offenses are going to need to convert in situations like these just to keep these series going and give their running backs a chance to really take over the game. Still got to do something in the passing game.
King is 12 of 16 for 87 yards. Willis 7 carries, 44 yards. A big 3rd and 5 here. Back to passes. King, deep ball down the field. Caught by Simons in coverage to the 30. Matthew Lee making the tackle and on the defense. But what a ball and what a play by Simons down the field.
Yeah, Simons is the big playmaker here in this receiving core. Leads this group with 4 receiving touchdowns. But you can see why here, able to get up at 6'4", 195 pounds, go up and get that ball.
6 minutes to go in the first half, and Denver a bit on their heels here off the bye. Chicago trying to erase that 14-42 loss to London a couple of weeks ago. Willis bounces off a player and then lets another one go by like a runaway train in a car sitting at a railroad crossing, 2nd and 1.
That's wonderful, Cam. Yeah, it just looked like maybe somebody got a hold of him. No, he just took a big hit and was able to survive it, find his balance, and get those extra yards. Wow, what great balance by the running back himself to be able to take that hit and respond back and get those extra yards.
And then ends up nearly eating his feet on a somersault there at the 21-yard line. 5:20 to go in the first half, and Chicago on the move. Hand off to Willis. Willis breaks a tackle. Got the first down to the 19-yard line, and the Wildcats continue to move.
Yeah, you pointed this out earlier in the game, Cam. This is the way I believe that you do beat an undefeated team, keeping this #1 offense off the field by these long, sustained drives.
Just 15 plays for Denver. Meanwhile, 26 plays for Chicago in the first half. Back to pass is King, out to Willis. Willis has some room, and a big hit by Matthew Lee. Some more 24-on-24 crime, to the point where Willis is very slow to get up, only a gain of 5.
Yeah, you know, there's going to be a lot of wear and tear on these running backs. They've been used a lot up to this season, a lot in this game, both as runners and as receivers. You know that the stamina at some point comes into play, and these guys are going to need a breather. It's probably getting close to that time for Willis.
Back to pass is King. King fires far side, caught by, I believe, Torres. It is down to the 7-yard line. Torres with his second catch of the night on 5 targets for 21 yards.
You gotta love the perfect play call. Defense was playing back. They send Torres on a deep out, and as he cuts back in, there's no defender near him. An easy pitch and catch for King.
Check that, 3 catches, 28 yards as King fires outside to Simons, who gets down to the 3-yard line. And man, this would be a huge stop for Denver's defense, because as of right now, there's no evidence that they can stop Chicago from getting into the end zone once they get in the red zone.
Yeah, now they're this close at the 3-yard line. Let's remember, Simons is their guy at the end zone they like to look for, the 6'4" target, end zone target. But Willis, he does have 6 touchdowns, which is surprisingly a little bit low for the amount of runs that he's had. Let's see if he can splash it in here.
Barner's the far left of the line right now, and he's got a fullback on that side. They run to that side, and Willis is stuffed. Boy, they had everything stacked in their favor, but Landon Mack makes another tremendous play. 4 solo tackles already in the first half for the outside linebacker.
Yeah, just good individual effort there by the defender. The block, actually, that was supposed to be there, gets there just slightly late and then gets pushed back. And Mack just makes a great individual effort to work through that and tackle the running back.
3rd and goal from the 7. This is 4 wide for King, and King floats to the nobody, to the nobody, literally in the back of the end zone. That an inexplicably terrible pass, and Garcia will have to come out for a field goal.
Yeah, Cam, way over the receiver who I believe looked open in the end zone, but just a little bit too much juice on that pass, and that's the danger when you don't run the ball or successfully here near the goal line. You have to make one of those risky throws. That one went out the back of the end zone.
So this is Garcia from 23.5. We'll see what they officially call it if Chicago's able to put it in and take their largest lead of the night. Chicago nails it. 23 yards is the official count, and it's 17-7. Chicago now leading Denver by 10. The Simulation Football League is brought to you in part by Matt Doyle Designs, the official design partner of the Simulation FL. By MediaTek Institute, visit mediatek.edu for diploma programs. Turn your passion into your profession. And by MeUndies, the world's most comfortable underwear for men and women. 3:05 to go first half. Denver with just 1 score on the board from the 11-yard line. Vega on the return. Vega breaks a tackle, 30. Vega, 35. Vega smashed at the 38-yard line. Wildcats smashed. But tremendous field position coming up for Denver.
Yeah, and Chicago, Cam, playing a very dangerous game, had an opportunity to put the score up by 2 touchdowns. But failed to get into the end zone. They know this is a Denver team that can score a lot of points in bunches.
Chesney just 8 carries in the first half. Miller, this will be his 8th throw if he can get it off. Hit as he threw, pass is caught by Giacomo Jones down the field of the Chicago 40-yard line. No time to panic as Denver moves the chains.
Well, Cam, this is all about Josh Miller's ability to move in the pocket. Feels the pressure on his blind side, makes that little step to the left, and that gives him just enough time to find Jones open in the middle of the field.
So both receivers to watch now on the left side. Keel in the slot, Jones at the bottom of the screen. 2.5 to go. Handoff McChesney on carry number 9. McChesney breaks a tackle, picks up 6 to the Chicago 33, averaging 5.3 yards per carry.
And I think it's important to point out here, Cam, they are already in field goal range. They have a star kicker in Kramer Jackman. Certainly within his range, 12 of 12 so far this season. Hasn't missed a field goal in 5 games.
4 receivers, trips left, 2:05 to go. Will Denver snap it before the 2-minute warning? Yes, they will. Hand off McChesney. And Roland stacks him up. No gain in the backfield. We have reached the 2-minute warning, the quick 2-minute warning on the MeUndies You Vote Fan Night Game of the Week, week number 7. Crowd on their feet in the Thunderdome. 3rd and 4. Four wide. This is McChesney in the backfield on a 3rd down and 4. And Miller fires wide open is Logan Keel to the 23-yard line. And I think, Stephen, one of the Chicago players, man, he must have been participating in a silent disco because he was dancing to music that we all could not hear.
That's great, man.
What was he doing out there? That was interesting. And Miller takes advantage. 6 of 10 for 69 yards now for Miller. Miller from his from Chicago's 23-yard line, nearly intercepted by number 23 for Chicago. That was Brandon Visay holding it down. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's the danger and the duality of both of these passing offenses, Cam. They're capable of making such big plays and then capable of, of those kind of mistakes. It almost cost them there. If that corner would have gotten that ball, that was a bit of a pick six.
1:26 left, 2 timeouts for Denver. They've traveled this far, and that they almost just gave it away. Miller 3-step drop, fakes the slant, got nailed, and Giacomo Jones on a double move catches a pass for 6 yards to the 17-yard line. What a route.
Yeah, Cam, what a pump fake by the quarterback Miller there. Actually, Jones fakes inside, goes outside, and as he was cutting back outside, Miller with the fake pump to stall the defender.
On a 3rd down and 4, they run to McChesney, and is that Roland again? Dylan Roland, tackle number 6 in the first half, stuffing the run as best he can.
Yeah, Roland, a veteran in this league, been in the league 6 seasons, Cam, averaging more than 10 tackles a game. 62 tackles on the season so far.
32-yard field goal. Jackman rushing up, although I'm not sure why. They can take the clock down quite a bit here. Chicago choosing to hold on to all 3 of their timeouts. And down to 6-5-4, a 32-yard field goal for Jackman is on the way, and good. So Denver cuts the deficit back to 7 points, and it's 17-10 with 20 seconds to go. Corey Carter back there to return.
Yeah, and Chicago, really what they're doing, they're allowing Denver to have hope, and that's dangerous going into halftime. Looks like they, as you mentioned, didn't want to use their timeout. Probably are going to be settled or at least be happy enough with being up 7 going into the locker room. But, Cam, they could have been more if they would have cashed in on their previous series.
Kick is away from Jackman. This is Carter from the 3. Corey Carter, 25, broken tackle, and then wrestled down by 3 different Nightwings at the 30 with 15 seconds to go. Just reading the chat, some funny conversations. If Denver loses, they'll be 5-1 and 20th in the power rankings. As some people, they just wear this chip on their shoulder all year long, man. It doesn't matter what's going on, and who knows where they might be ranked, but a lot of game left with 15 seconds to go. Denver down just 7. They certainly have held their own against Chicago here on the road. King's got all day to throw. Avoids a Baca sack. Still needs to get rid of it. Now he's going to take off and run. And Baca says, come back here, as he gets him down for a 1-yard loss, which ends the first half. End of the first half, Denver 10, Chicago 17. That's how it ends. Stephen Mullinex, your analysis as we look at the stats and highlights.
Well, Cam, I think these 2 teams are who we thought they were. I mean, these are teams that like to run the football, are committed to doing that, and can surprise you in the passing game, but it's not necessarily their forte. And so, I think Chicago, we expected them to play well at home. I think they have. I think they've contained Denver enough. I think it's still You're dealing with a caged tiger here, and you want to keep him at bay as long as possible. How do you do that? I think you got to go through Jared Willis more. Keep that explosive Night Wings offense off the field and have those long, sustained drives that we saw that I believe is the reason for their lead right now.
Giacomo Jones, 3 catches, 36 yards, the leading receiver for Denver. McChesney, 10 carries, 44 yards on the ground. For Chicago, 3 catches, 34 yards, and a touchdown for Buchanan Simons. And Jared Willis outplaying Gerard McChesney with 10 carries, 53 yards, and a score. 7 catches, 36 yards through the air.
Yeah, Cam, it's a battle between these two running backs. We knew that they were going to be the marquee names here, and then it's kind of shifted a little bit. Both of them have found success, and then it's been about who can be more potent through the air. So far, that team has been Chicago.
Is that Michael Jackson officiating in the end zone? Did you see him pop up? Man, that was we got some people with some moves and flexibility out here tonight, making me super jealous. Jason, go ahead.
If that is Michael Jackson, we need to call Ghostbusters, because that's the second ghost we have here in the SFL.
Oh no, we can't have more ghosts, man. I think we've seen enough of that with Aaron Arrington. Enough for at least a couple years. Don't need any scares like that. Start of the second half here from beautiful Chicago. Friendly confines of the Thunderdome. Not so friendly for Denver in the first half, 17-10, but the Night Wings get the ball to start the second half. Jason1347 with a Twitch Prime subscription now for 13 months in a row. From the 10, this is Vega, and Vega will get out to the 29-yard line. It's weird. Corey Carter, Steven Vega with wearing both number 10. Denver has 10 points right now. I don't know. Just the weird oddities of analytics, I guess.
Yeah, in these games, they give us so many opportunities like that, Cam. This game is really just full of fruit for us that we pick every Sunday. It's great.
Miller gonna throw to start the half, fires near side. Wow, nice play by Keel, but even a better throw from Miller on a rope all the way across the field for the first down.
Yeah, Cameron, I like this. Get your quarterback started here in the second half. Give him a nice, easy target to throw to, wide open. All about really Keel able to get that explosion and separation from the defender. Nice way to start the second half.
Monday, got a few games on the slate. Atlanta and Sioux Falls squaring off as Sioux Falls tries to get just their second win of the season. They have had a slow start. San Francisco is at Baltimore. Going to be a tough contest for the Sharks, but they're 3-3, and Carolina is at New Orleans as McChesney sends Clint Hendershot rolling like he's on fire, a 6-yard pickup.
Well, we've seen both running backs really run with speed and power and have the ability to put any defender on their back. I'm almost a little surprised, Cam, we haven't seen more out of these running backs, but I think the scores dictated a little bit more of the passing game.
Second down 4, handoff McChesney. McChesney's got some room, explodes to the second level. A.J. Barnes to the 39. Man, Steven, that was a pretty run as he saw the hole and shot right through it.
Well, whatever Chicago's paying A.J. Barnes, it ain't enough because he just saved them a short touchdown right there by making a tackle. But look at the power, the shoulder charge to put the defender on his back, and Barnes taking everything that he has to bring him down. When these two running backs get going, there are probably no more better running backs in the SFL.
9:45 left, 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 39. This is exactly how Denver would have hoped this third quarter would have started out of the break. Dump off to McChesney, only got 2. And that's only going to get him to the 37-yard line. Nice job by the Wildcats closing down.
Yeah, the Night Wings still looking deep. Miller still trying to take his shots deep, looking. Didn't see anyone there. Nice to have a little bit of a security blanket there and McChesney to go to if you need to.
9:12, third quarter. 3 backs in the backfield now for Miller. And the handoff goes to McChesney running left again. McChesney got a great block. That's your ever-scroll block of the game. It's a first down. The fullback getting up the field.
And Cam, the patience there of McChesney. Actually, I think he had an open lane more to the right, but decided to follow his blockers, which was a good decision. Finds that hole open up at the last second, and he has the acceleration to take advantage of it.
So 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line coming up for the Night Wings. They have taken 2 minutes and 20 seconds off this third quarter clock as McChesney gets a carry, but Rowland makes another tackle, his 7th. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 9 after we tell you about movement. Everscroll by Movement blocks blue light to protect your eyes from digital screens. Don't hurt your eyes by checking out SFL action. Protect them and see every moment by using the promo code SimulationFL at purchase from Movement.com. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL through our partnership, Movement Premium Watches, Sunglasses, and Accessories, as that ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage by B.J. Smith. And Josh Miller couldn't do what Christian Christensen did last week, which was catch it and run for a few yards.
Well, probably a blessing in disguise there, Cam. If he would have caught it, likely not even to make it back to the line of scrimmage. So I think they'll settle for this 3rd and 9, try to make this conversion. If not, still in field goal range.
3rd down for Denver. This a bit of a predicament here. 9 of 14 for 88 yards. Denver is 2 of 5 on 3rd down tonight. Miller, deep drop back, nearly out of field goal range. Pass knocked away by Blake Hamrack. We have seen Hamrack, one of the most underrated defenders, corners rather, in the SFL. Make some tremendous plays in the end zone. Got the win over Houston with a game-sealing pick in the 4th quarter a couple of weeks ago, and knocks that one away to force a field goal.
Yeah, Hamrick, not someone you want to test. 3 interceptions and a defensive touchdown already this season.
So a 40-yard field goal coming up for Kramer Jackman. Still perfect on the season. Yes, indeed. Field goal good. 17-13. This is a clash of a Titans. At least that's what it feels like right now, as these two certainly have a lot of strengths on a lot of different parts of the field.
Well, I think if you're Chicago's defense, you got to feel that is a win for you there. This is a Denver offense that averages 36 points a game. You're limiting them to 13 right now. Doing just an outstanding job. Now you got to hope that your offense able to take advantage of it.
8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. From the 3, this is Carter with his team up 4. And Corey Carter, not much room there from the beginning. Only gets out to the 28-yard line. Well, if you've missed any action so far in Week 7, here are the headlines. The Aztecs defense has only given up 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. Zach Sandlin. And how about Dallas? 59 points, a franchise high today. Houston sends London on a long plane ride home. Alaska has beaten everybody in the league but Baltimore they've played, and Queen City's beaten everybody but Chicago. They smashed the Desperados today as Willis gets 2. Ash Odom was over 200 yards today in a chilly day in Buffalo. Breelers 57 is subscribed with Twitch Prime. Appreciate your subscription and your support, Breelers. Chat shout-outs to Code Gaming, Guapulator 303, Eddie Gage, Avery Allen, Fruit Bat Attack, Denver Night Wings, R. Cochran, C. Pundy, Hamrack 25's in there, Auto JCG. I saw Base Scout earlier as Willis will be held up by Armstrong after a few yards. 3rd and 4. Another critical 3rd down coming up for Chicago. They are 2 of 6 on 3rd down.
Well, coming into this game, they were 42% on 3rd down. So this has been their biggest bugaboo here, Cam. They've got to get these 3rd down conversions if they're wanting to get past Denver here in this game.
All right, handoff Willis on a 3rd down and 4, and just like Denver has gone to on 3rd and medium, McChesney, Chicago not afraid to go on Willis 4 yards away from the sticks, and they get a 1st down.
Yeah, Cam, just so much trust in their running back to convert this 3rd and 4, and he did it by a mile. I mean, just went untouched through about 8 yards and had a blocker in front of him. So just an ideal play call, great play call here by Chicago to get that third down conversion.
Man, how close is this game right now? Chicago 16 first downs, Denver 15. Denver 2 of 6 on third down, and Chicago 3 of 7. I mean, those are some pretty identical team stats. King deep across the field. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Warner past midfield down to the 42-yard line. What a play as King forced it into traffic, and Denver's got some momentum truly for the first time tonight.
Cam, that's an absolute game changer right there. Nicholas Warner, 5 interceptions on the season. That was tied for second most in the SFL. Now he's tied for number 1 with his 6th pick of the season. Just a dangerous man to play with. And look, Chicago wanted to spread things out there, and I think just E.T. King just chose the wrong receiver to pinpoint, and Warner was all over it.
And they ended up running 2 receivers just back to the safety, and Warner basically just got to pick his poison. Jared McChesney, speaking of poison, drink up Chicago. He picks up 9.5.
Yeah, Cam, and this is the guy that's been just been a monster all game for them. Surprised they haven't gone to him more than they have. They go to him a lot, but you just see that kind of a run, you think, man, why don't they just run it every time? You got a guy that can do that on every play.
5:50 to go in the third. 2 in the backfield for Miller. Miller going to throw. Miller has time, finds a wide open McChesney in the open field, and he runs over Hamrack before Spurgeon brings him down to the 23-yard line. Spurgeon, the 7-season veteran in the league, along with Barnes and Varner.
Well, Cam, we talk about grown man strength, and that's McChesney on every play. That first defender is going to get a ton of shoulder pad in his chest. We've just seen it over and over again. These successful running backs breaking that first tackle, McChesney making it look easy out there.
5:20 to go in the third quarter, and Denver has basically had the ball. It feels like this entire quarter. Check down McChesney, 23 to the 19, 4-yard gain. Spurgeon makes another tackle on the outside. That's his 6th, as the free safety been working hard out there.
Well, now the task is at Chicago's defense's feet again. Can they bend but don't break as they get closer and closer here, now in the red zone and closer to their own end zone?
Jones has 36 receiving yards. Keel has 40. Kinloa has not even been targeted tonight. Handoff to McChesney, and McChesney is hit by Rowland right at her near the line of scrimmage. Rowland with his 8th solo tackle of the night, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and that's been a really good battle tonight. Those two going head-to-head. That's the one guy on this defense, him and maybe Hendershot, that you won't see McChesney able to really put a shoulder charge in.
This is a big 3rd and 5 for Denver. Are they going to run it? No, they're going to throw. Miller is going to float it near side. Did he? No, they said he didn't get the first down. That was Vega all by himself, and I don't know, Steven, that was very close. This is a huge call.
You're right. And Cam, I think it was just, if the ball was delivered a little bit more crisply, he was on pace to get past that first down marker. He had to come back just so slightly, and I think that caused him in his momentum to go out of bounds early.
And I think you're right, Steven. There's a bit of a floater out there from Miller, and that's going to cost Denver potentially taking the lead. Instead, they'll potentially only cut this deficit down to 1 as a 30-yard field goal. Good. And despite all of what Denver has done in the third quarter, racking up yards and time, they're still trailing.
But Cam, you get the sense here that Chicago's defense is doing everything they can to hold this offense at bay, and that the waves are starting to break over the bow a little bit. So Chicago's offense is going to have to respond, as you can feel this Denver dam about to break.
I agree with you. McChesney, all-purpose yards 113. Willis, all-purpose yards 102. So both running backs are pulling their weight as Carter gets out to the 31-yard line, and he's had a lot of good returns tonight, but Denver has just not allowed him to break the game open, and the ball is back in E.T. King's court.
And these guys there in the chat, and the guys watching, they know this, that in this kind of tight games like this, it just takes one great play to change the momentum. We saw the interception on the previous series give Denver an opportunity now to make this a one-point game. Another big play could put this out of reach or make it even closer.
Gun split backs for King, gonna throw. King deep down the middle, wide open! And that was the difference between that throw and the interception. Simons with his 4th catch for 56 yards, but that time no indecision from E.T. King.
That's right, Cam. Very confident, standing tall in the pocket. Good job by the offensive line to give their quarterback time to find his receiver in the simple post route, waiting for his receiver to get open. Once he identifies that window, able to throw a strike.
That gets the ball back into Denver, Denver's side of the 50. And it's Varner off the left side again with that fullback on that left side. They run to the left side, and Willis again gets nothing off the left side. Baca closes it down along with Sawchuk, but we've seen that a couple of times where they've gone strong to the left and Denver has responded.
Yeah, Cam, and it seems like there's a little bit of delay in the handoff and Willis just being able to get past the line of scrimmage. And anytime you get tackled by 2 defensive linemen like that, you know that you're taking too much time in the backfield.
2:43 and counting in the third, 1-point game. King's got a throw on 2nd and 10, deep ball middle, and Simons off the hands. Warner fully extended for the ball, and it looked like it hit Simons right in the breadbasket, and he couldn't haul it in.
You got to bring that one in, 14. Those are the kind of plays, you know, both positive and negative. Those kind of plays will hurt you. Now put your team in a tough 3rd and 10 situation. If it hits you in the hands, you got to bring it in.
Man, that's tough. That was one of E.T. King's finest throws of the night. Simons now 4 catches, 5 targets. First one he's missed. 3rd down and long. And King going long. And it's knocked away by Armstrong, who continues to dominate the matchup with J.C. Torres tonight. And just like that, Chicago's drive stalls again.
Well, we've seen both quarterbacks put their receivers in 50-50 ball positions where it's just one-on-one with the defensive back. And we've seen these quarterbacks, Cam, tonight on both sides of the ball. They've come to play, and they've done a stellar job in defending on those jump balls.
Sniper Gus in the chat, looking pretty. Hi, Gus. This punt let go at the 11. Don't know if I don't agree with that decision at all. It just rolls down to the 1-yard line. That's about the easiest punt down inside the 5 Chicago's going to have all season.
Yeah, that's a big mental mistake and puts Denver's offense just in a terrible position. But if there's one guy, yeah, go ahead. You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to that 100-yard touchdown. I couldn't help myself. You're absolutely right. If there's one guy you want there, as McChesney, not going to get 100 yards this time, only 1, as the tackle made by Spears brings up 2nd and 9 at the 2. Chat was all over it too. 2:05 to go in the 3rd. So look at Spurgeon. He's got 6 tackles tonight. Rolling 8 tackles and a tackle for loss. They go 3 backs in the backfield. McChesney gets a kick out block, but a really nice job by Dylan Rowland again. Closes out only a gain of 2.
Cam, like a heat-seeking missile. Like he just kind of parsed him through all the traffic, never took his eyes off him, and laid him out early. I really like that run set, how they ran out of that. And they had all those blockers in front of them. But, man, Rowland's a great individual play.
McChesney again, knocked down by Rowland and pushed backwards. Denver goes nowhere on 3 straight carries to McChesney, who's still under 100 yards tonight, despite averaging about $160 this season, I believe. And another punt coming for Denver.
And, Cam, wow, what a great defensive effort. Should put Chicago's offense in great field position.
From the back of the end zone, Lily Long feeling the pressure, and a fair catch called for at the 36 by Carter. So Chicago near field goal range already with 58 seconds to go in the 3rd. And I got to give huge props to Dylan Rowland and Maurice Spurgeon tonight. A combined 16 tackles, and Chicago's defense continues to keep the Wildcats in front.
1st and 10 from the wing, 35 yards.
I'm F and Problem Deepow 98. TMG 82 in the chat. Some new names. Hoopstar 77, not new, but you know what I mean. Some fresh faces on the shout out. Says that pass is ruled a catch on the sideline. There's the updated look at the quarterback numbers.
And Cam King had a wide open receiver down the middle. Probably would have got 25 yards, 20 yards, but just went off that progression a little bit too quickly and will now just settle for the 4-yard gain.
2 in the backfield, 45 seconds, third quarter. This is a playoff type atmosphere in Chicago as Willis basically has to get his head removed before he can be brought down at the 27, 3rd and 1. Willis approaching 75 yards, 15 carries, 71 yards and a touchdown.
Well, I think Denver's doing a better job of blocking for McChesney than Chicago's doing here for Willis. We're seeing Willis having to take a lot on right there at the line of scrimmage.
Major third down here. Difference between 3 and 7 points potentially. They're going to hand it off to Willis, and Willis gets a first down. No push off the left side as Chicago's offensive line won the battle on that play, and that ends the third quarter. What a ball game here. Denver and Chicago meaning business. You are watching the MeUndies U-Boats Fan Night Game of the Week on Twitch TV. Stay with us. Put your 4s up in the chat. The Fan Night game once again has been everything that we had hoped it would be. 4 receivers for King out of the gun. Just 5 in the box. They only rush 3. Deep ball! Intercepted at the goal line! 20, 25, gets a block! Oh, and what a play! And then I believe, you're not going to believe this, B.J. Armstrong with the interception, but that is the 3rd time that Austin Matrillo has gotten the tackle off an interception for Chicago.
Well, Cam, let's just talk about the athletic ability of B.J. Armstrong to not only get the interception, but somehow stay in bounds and the blazing speed down the sidelines. I thought, like you, Cam, I thought he was gone. Good individual effort there by the non-contact wide receiver, but boy, B.J. Armstrong coming alive here. 2nd interception of the night.
20 carries, 100 yards, right on the nose for McChesney with 10:52 to go in the 4th quarter, and Denver once again gets a very big stop. This is Miller nearly throwing a pick as the route intended for Avery Ha cut off by Hamrack, and Miller now 12 of 19.
Yeah, the receiver there, Ha, he was just looking to bring it into the breadbasket there. Usually what you want your receivers to do is to go after the ball. Him just waiting on that ball gave the defender an opportunity to get in there and knock it away.
2 in the backfield with Miller. They've thrown 19 times and run 20 times. Deep ball. Miller intercepted by Jesse Vick. Oh, man, Josh Miller, why? Oh, why?
Well, Cam, Jesse Vick, first interception so far this season, comes in maybe the biggest game, but you're right, Cam. Miller gift-wrapped that one to Vick. Clearly a great athletic play, jump up there and get it, but I'm not sure what Miller saw, but the Vick there, the corner, all over.
And that's the 2nd time, Steven, if you remember, that they've looked Vega's direction on a post corner. And Vick once got the swat away, and that time took it away as Chicago all over that play. 1st and 10 at the 39, hand off to Willis. And Willis again dragged down from behind, but pushes forward for a 6-yard gain. Wrap up by Phillips.
Well, these running backs, clearly they're trying to win the game, and it seems like these quarterbacks are trying to give it away, Cam. It's been one of those catch-22s for both sides of the team, and it may come down to which team makes the least number of mistakes.
King 18 of 26, 141 yards, a touchdown, 3 picks. Neither quarterback's been too good tonight. King out to Willis, and Willis not going to get the first down. We were talking in pregame, Steven, about how both of these teams kind of keep the turnovers down, but now back-to-back weeks, E.T. King's been kind of a mess.
Yeah, and both teams, I think they wanted to try and take advantage of these defenses deep, and we haven't seen a lot of deep plays that haven't been made by the defense.
Somebody asked how tall Willis is, 5'11", 235, the Chicago running back. 3rd and 1 here. Everybody in the 9 in the box for Denver. They're going to flip it out to Willis. His first catch of the second half. He's got a lot of running room all the way out to the Nightwing 39-yard line. Willis now 35 yards on 7 receptions. And Chicago's in business.
And just another great play call, really, Cam, isolating the running back as a receiver on a swing play on that heavy set. And they just got the right defensive look that they wanted to call that play. And it works to perfection. Puts them now, giving them really good momentum here, up 1.
9.5 to go. Possessions now becoming a premium. 2 backs and 2 receivers. 87 viewers right now. Let's see if we can get to triple digits on Fan Night tonight. King, wild throw to Simons as he had an opportunity to run, and it brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, Cam, really surprised he stopped short. I mean, had open field in front of him. Obviously, you don't want your quarterback taking big hits, but if he could slide, gain 5 yards there, he just thought he saw something, an opportunity maybe to take advantage of an open receiver, but just didn't pan out.
I am nervous for everybody involved in this game. This has been an exciting game. The largest lead for any team was 10 when the Wildcats led 17-7. King throwing to an open receiver, Torres. They rule it incomplete. I would challenge if I'm Chicago.
Yeah, Cam, those sideline plays like that, you'd hope that the receiver would make it a little bit more clear as he's going out of bounds. He's tapping those feet a little bit more. Doesn't look like they're going to challenge here.
Wow. I'm really surprised because now that brings up a 3rd down and 10, and they're still outside of field goal range. 3 down linemen here for Denver. A lot up on the line. 10 to go. King launches it, and it's way over the head of Buchanan Simons, and that's the 3rd time King has just airmailed a ball tonight, and Denver's defense gets another stop.
Cam, it's almost as if they were not on the same page. It looked like Simon stopped short, and King thought he was going to continue, which he should have. That would have been a sure touchdown. Plenty of separation there from the defender. Just a bad time to have a miscommunication.
Alongside Andy Hamilton doing a great job on stats, Stephen Mullinex. I am Cameron Irvine, your broadcast crew tonight for the Fan Night Game of the Week. This ball going to bounce at the 7, and what a stop at the 3-yard line getting down the field. Brandon Visay, it's the 2nd time we've seen him make a nice play tonight.
Well, that's a nice consolation prize, Cam. If you can't get into field goal range, at least your punter is able to pin Denver deep. Hopefully your defense is able to get a stop, and then you'll get great field position as an offense again.
2nd time inside the 5-yard line. Denver starting a drive. 9:02 to go in the 4th. Still down 1. The undefeated season on the line as the handoff goes to McChesney, and Dylan Rowland meets his maker. 4-yard gain.
Well, these two have battled it, and for the most part, Rowland has really come away. When it's been one-on-one, Rowland puts McChesney down, which you got to have against this kind of an offense.
2nd and 6 at the 7. Up 1, Wildcats trying to put the 5 and 2. Nearly a sack in the backfield, and McChesney dragging defenders, including Vic, all the way down to the 12-yard line. But I have never seen a defensive line get in the backfield so fast.
Yeah, great penetration. Just didn't equal out to them stopping the running back. McChesney getting those extra yards, Cam, with guys on his back. There's a lot of determination.
3rd and 1. One more time. McChesney pounds it in there as Barnes gets the initial wrap-up. 115 yards on 23 carries. With 8 minutes to go and counting, you wonder, Stephen, how many possessions each team has left in this one. And I'm wondering where Hiapo Kinloa is. They're going to need him down the stretch.
Well, you know what, Cam? We may just call his name once, but it could be the play that breaks this game open and gives Denver the lead. That's all they need at this point, one big play.
7:42 and ticking. Denver been down. It's this entire game. They tied it once, have not had the lead. Handoff to McChesney, and he got hung up behind some blockers. Only a 1-yard gain. Rowland chases him down from behind again. Tackle number 13.
Yeah, that might be the best defense that you can have against McChesney, is him running into his own block. You know, that might be the only thing that can stop him other than Dylan Rowland tonight.
4 receivers, 2 to either side, 7:10 to go. Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. There is nothing better. Miller deep ball down the field. And I don't know who that hit. There are about 7 different players deep. Jones may have been the intended target, but what a mess downfield. It's 3rd and long.
Well, Miller clearly has one goal, Cam. When he is passing the ball, he is looking deep every time he has the opportunity. And there, as you mentioned, there were 2 receivers in the area and several defenders, and he's just not able to pinpoint through all that traffic.
Now 4 wide on 3rd and 9. Denver 3 of 9 on 3rd downs tonight with 21 first downs. Deep ball, Miller, a absolute dot, knocked away by Spurgeon, intended by Jones. That was a laser, and Spurgeon forces another punt.
Yeah, you really felt like Miller had identified someone and threw that ball really confidently. That looked like it was going to be a completion, but the wily veteran, little Maurice Spurgeon, getting in there and knocking it away, giving his Chicago offense a chance for some great field position.
Wow, and you see this crowd, I mean, packed to the brim here in the Thunderdome, trying to get a huge win. Chicago, as Carter from his 45-yard line has a little bit of space, gets it to midfield. Chicago has felt like for the last few seasons since making the championship game in season 9 that they have a championship caliber team. They haven't necessarily made any kind of threat to get back there, but if they get a win here tonight, they'll be in the top 4 of the league, and they'll have to be a part of that conversation.
No doubt, Cam. It looked a little bit like their, championship game appearance selves with big wins over Queen City and Mexico City in those first 2 weeks.
6:51 to go, 1st and 10 at midfield. Back to pass out to Willis, and Willis breaks a tackle and gets run out of bounds after a 3-yard gain. That's a great point, Stephen. Chicago beats 2 teams that have not lost to anybody else this year. And then if they beat Denver, that would be 3 teams. 3 one-loss teams they will have beaten. But Denver hanging with Chicago, I think, shows just how good they are as well.
Yeah, and then Chicago goes out and they lose in really blowouts to Vancouver
crazy.
and London. So they're just a heckle jive. You know what I'm trying to say.
First down, I know what you're trying to say, as Torres knows where he's trying to go. First down to the Nightwing 34 in Chicago's near scoring position.
Yeah, and just a good job here by E.T. King. Need to settle down after that big interception in the end zone. They just need an opportunity here, maybe just to settle some of these nerves. But E.T. King, a veteran of this league, 5th season, formerly of Tallahassee, coming here, has been the man from day 1 here in Chicago. If you got somebody that you want their game in their hands, he's the dude.
6:05 left, time ticking away on the Nightwings' unbeaten season. King flips outside, caught by Carter. That's Armstrong on the tackle. 4-yard gain. Armstrong's 5th tackle tonight. Matthew Lee actually leads the team in tackles with 6.
Well, Cam, you need to come away with points here if you're Chicago. At least a field goal to put this out. Make Denver have to score in order to win this game on the flip side.
5:35 to go. Boy, that clock milking fast now. Willis, they gave him the first down to the 24. I think he did have it. It was very close, but more first downs for Chicago. That is first down number 25 for the Wildcats.
And Cam, I am riding the Willis train from here on out. Let's go ahead and milk this clock. Even if it doesn't result in a first down, it should get you down to the point where you can kick a field goal and make Denver have to score a touchdown.
Especially after King's interception on a couple of series ago. Willis only got 1. Under 5 to go as Nicholas Warner gave it all at the end of that play. Phillips makes the stop. I don't think they can milk it all the way down here. There's just not enough field left. So obviously a field goal and a touchdown means Two very different things for the Night Wings, who's only scored one touchdown tonight. It was pretty early in this game. King's out of the gun, going to throw on 2nd and 9. An easy pass outside, caught but out of bounds. That is Trevor Driver, and I believe under 5 minutes, that's going to stop the clock.
Yeah, that's exactly what you did not want to happen, to stop the clock there and put yourself in this difficult 3rd and 7 where you're likely not going to run the ball. So Denver knows they're going to key up a pass defense. They're going to expect you to pass now. E.T. King is on the onus here of having to try to get in the red zone with his arm.
3rd and 7, corners standing at the sticks right now for Denver. King out of the gun, going to throw, sends 3 out into the pattern. King's got all day to throw, knocked away and intercepted, picked off and into the hands of a defender. That's past midfield. Going Osiris Pelican, 20, 10, and dragged down at the 2-yard line. But what a play for the Night Wings. They're 2 yards away from taking their first lead of the night.
And an absolute nightmare for Chicago. Cam, the one thing you can't have happen, you have the 1-point lead and you throw the interception. And boy, was this not the longest run in SFL history as far as time? It just seemed like this took forever to get down there. Probably the defender just so winded. But, man, now all the onus is on Chicago's defense. Can they hold them to a field goal?
And Torres saved the touchdown. 4:16 to go. Now McChesney in the backfield. 109 yards on 23 carries. Handoff goes to McChesney. A man missed. And Denver has the lead in Chicago.
Well, call E.T. King Santa Claus because he just gave this Denver offense a gift. I mean, McChesney is going to be, from this short yardage, you know this guy's going to cash in. Maybe the one bonus, Cam, of this is it still gives Chicago's offense time to get back down the field and get in the end zone. But, boy, the sidelines, the crowd, totally deflated.
And E.T. King now, 9 interceptions in the last 2 weeks. Denver going to go for 2 here to try to go up by 7. They go to the 3-back look. They're going to hand it off to McChesney. Why wouldn't you? And Jude McChesney gets the 2-point conversion. Muscling his way in. Dylan Rowland speechless in the end zone, and the Night Wings are up 7.
Yeah, Cam, really great job here at the end of the run. Just like a little body twist right near the goal line. Gets him in there. Oh, and he just flattens the dude.
Golly, I didn't even see that the first go-around.
I thought he twisted his body to actually get himself into the end zone. No, he twisted somebody else up and just had a little ripple from that. Wow.
So now 4:13 to go. King has been a mess with Chicago's offense over the last couple of weeks. They've scored 31 points in the last 2 games. Denver has charged back. They were down 17-7. They have scored 17 unanswered points. And on fan night, they have 4 minutes and 9 seconds left to go to 6-0.
And Cam, it goes back to that 2nd down play where they threw the ball and the receiver went out of bounds, stopping the clock, causing a 3rd and long, and the impending interception that goes all the way down the field to the 2-yard line.
What does Chicago have left in the magic book of tricks here at home? 4:08 to go. King gonna throw. King going long. Had a receiver. Tipped up in the air. And off the helmet. Nearly intercepted. That ball was just underthrown, Steven. I thought Simons had a beat on him.
Cam, we've seen E.T. King attempt this before, and I don't think it's one time. This corner route there to the left side, testing B.J. Armstrong. And as you mentioned, that ball ping-ponged around, was on a defender's back forever. Lucky that didn't get picked.
Goodness gracious. 2nd and 10 with 4:03 to go. If I'm Chicago, look, you got 4 minutes to score a touchdown. They're just going all out here. Deep ball again. Caught by Varner. Wide open at the 47-yard line. Shut me up.
And Cam, I don't know how that ball got to Varner. It was a duck. Quack, quack coming out of the quarterback's arms. Not going to get an opportunity to see there in the pocket, but seeing Varner here just run the post route, run a referee over, and there's no defender past Varner. Varner just gets behind them, makes the easy catch. Wow.
Oh, man. Somebody get the official an ice pack. 1st and 10, 3:35 to go in the 4th. King going to throw again, and King fires outside, caught by Carter down to the 41-yard line, and Again, no need to panic here. Chicago already on Denver's side of the field. And remember, Stephen, E.T. King and this Wildcats team converted 4 fourth downs against Mexico City in a win.
Yes, but, you know, it's almost a question at this point in this game, like, it's boom or bust with E.T. King right now. He may boom you into a lead, and a win could bust you into a loss.
Oh, Denver jumps offside. Now a free play, and Willis has a great block on the outside. Willis all the way to the 32. Penalty declined, and Chicago continues their impressive drive.
Wow, Ken, what a luxury that is to have running backs like this that can be receivers and turn into vicious, furious runners that can really break that first tackle, get you those extra yards here, resulting in a first down.
That flag on Bandito, and he was caught by the Federales for 5 yards. First and 10 at the 32, 3 minutes to go in the fourth, and the Wildcats on their best drive, and most consistent drive rather, in quite some time since that bomb to Varner. 3 in the backfield now for King. Haven't seen this much out of Chicago tonight, but Willis is going to be tackled from behind by Heath Bars, only a gain of 1. Willis's 22nd carry. He has 31 touches tonight for 161 total yards.
Yeah, but this Denver defense, Cam, I think they're just come alive, you know, here at the right time in this game. And hey, there's a reason why they are 5-0 and undefeated. They can win games like this.
2nd and 9, and again, Chicago going to a 3-back look here. 8 in the box for Denver, handoff to Willis, and Willis picks up 4. And the only thing that's interesting about this, Stephen, is what happens if you don't score? You're kind of putting yourself in a bind. And even a touchdown would only make it overtime. But I don't think they want to give Denver the ball back.
Yeah, and this is what they should have done on the previous series. But now they're going to be forced in the 3rd and 5 again, Cam. Dangerous proposition.
Right before the 2-minute warning, they are going to throw. Fires it outside and cut, staying inbounds at least long enough to get the first down is Simons. 5 catches for 63 yards. That's the 2-minute warning, and Chicago is in the red zone. You're watching the MeUndies You Vote Fan Night Game of the Week, presented by APM Music on Twitch. First and 10 at the 20 for Chicago, and actually there's 2:01 on the clock, and Willis gives it off. Whatever, ref. Man, he hasn't screwed up anything all night, and then right there at the whatever.
Well, talking about screw-ups, this is where E.T. King can't screw up here. So you're at your own 16-yard line. We've seen multiple interceptions happen in this area, Cam. He's got to be clean here.
Yeah, he's got to conquer some demons right now. 25 of 38, 2nd and 6 for King. Gonna throw. King floats one, cut, and it's a touchdown! Unbelievable! That is Buchanan Simons for the score.
And Cam, we've seen similar success on that same route by Simons, able to run, just really beeline it right to the middle of the field again, and then King is just waiting for him to get open. Finds him in between 2 defenders, gets smushed, but still able to get in the end zone.
Right at the goal line, McCree makes the tackle, and this extra point can tie the game, but Denver will still have 1 minute and 52 seconds and all 3 timeouts. And Jackman, who has not missed. Unreal. Extra point, good for Chicago, tied at 24. The Simulation Football League is brought to you in part by Movement, premium watches, sunglasses, and accessories. By Quip, perfect oral care delivered. By ScoreStream, official score updates app of the SFL. And by Spygoat, the sound choice. And the sound is loud here in Chicago. And you know they're going to be full throat on this possession for Denver's offense. Vega from the 8-yard line, past the 25 and stuffed at the 28. Back out comes Miller, 12 of 22, 105 yards, 2 interceptions. Not much to write home about.
And Cam, I think if you're Denver's offense, You know there's no need to panic. Plenty of time on the clock. You've got all 3 of your timeouts. You just really need to get into field goal range. And if you can get into that range, you know you can run the clock out with McChesney.
3 receivers all to the left side of Miller. They're going to start the drive with a pass. Deep ball, left side, caught! Giacomo Jones! He's gone! Touchdown Denver! Unbelievable!
Cam, they have been looking for the deep ball all night. It hasn't been there for Denver yet. And at the critical time, here with less than 2 minutes left in the game, tied Giacomo Jones, the Pro Bowler. Fakes inside, goes outside. The defender tries to tip the ball, misses, and Jones is gone for 6.
Hamrack undercut the route, Stephen, and left Jones on an island all by his lonesome. And Denver responds. Unbelievable.
And so quickly, Cam, just so quickly, maybe too quickly.
Please,
honestly.
I'm not going to make it. Extra point's going to be one of those games. Jackman's kick is good. 31-24 Denver, and we were talking in the broadcast meeting with Jeremy Vega about this being the first time that that we've ever called a Denver Nightwing game, and oh man, are they giving us a heart pounder right now.
Yeah, Cam, the fans are never wrong. The fans voted this game as the game of the week, and for good reason. Boy, this has been a great one.
Jackman kicks it away. All the way to the goal line. This is Carter on the return. Still yet to break one, and that was one of his worst returns of the night. Only up to the 25-yard line. So the pressure now is back on E.T. King. And I mean, what do you think, Steven? Does it help that he threw the touchdown there, or does it hurt the fact that he has to keep being in this situation?
Yeah, I think it hurts him, Cam, just based on, you know that he's going to have to go long and go long often here. But again, maybe they don't need to panic. They've got their 3 timeouts, plenty of time on the clock.
King out of the gun to start the drive. King gonna go long, and it's, he dropped it. Oh, it's intercepted on the sideline, dragging the feet. B.J. Armstrong with the play of the game.
Well, kids, throw your hats onto the field. That's 3 interceptions on the day for Armstrong. But this is all about Torres mishandles the ball. If he catches it, he's gone. This game is tied. Instead, it's 1 nail more in the coffin. Armstrong, what a game.
Oh, my gosh. And he had to drag the feet. That may have been a touchdown if Torres would have held on. Unbelievable. Handoff to McChesney now. Hamrack wraps him up right at the line of scrimmage, and Chicago cannot give up a first down. Denver still needs a couple to get into field goal range, but at that point it won't matter.
Well, it's just been so dangerous for E.T. King to attack that left side of the field. Found more success in the middle of the field. Probably should have been continuing to attack that weakness, but instead trying to find the speedy Torres may have cost him this game.
1:24 left, 2nd down and 9. Miller handoff to McChesney. McChesney got some more that time. 5. 3rd and 4. This is the game right here for Chicago. And man, sometimes you just see teams. Remember, Alaska went undefeated when they came back from 24 down to Vegas. Sometimes teams they got that spark in their eye in any given season.
Right, their record may be perfect, but the road to get there often isn't. And as we saw tonight, Chicago had plenty of times in this game, had opportunities to win, and they just kind of gave it away.
Still has 1 more to give themselves a chance, and they get McChesney in the backfield. Great pressure up the middle from Donnie Odom, and it's not over yet because Chicago, despite having no timeouts, will have about 1 minute and 10 seconds left.
Well, an opportunity for redemption, maybe, for Torres, certainly for E.T. King. Try and get back into this game, see if they can tie it up, possibly win it if they go for 2. I expect they probably want to go to overtime, but first things first, let's get in that end zone, Chicago.
They've been testing that corner route with Torres up at the top, as Carter from the 15-yard line doesn't have much room. But remember, the one time Stephen King underthrew it, and then this time it was thrown perfectly, and Simons dropped it, or check that Torres dropped it. So hey, maybe third time's the charm.
Yeah, but do you really do that? Do you really test B.J. Armstrong again? With the game that he's having tonight? Look, I'm looking for Simons. Simons has been on point, and Carter. We saw early him have some impactful plays. Those are two guys I'd be looking for.
The popcorn's popping in the chat. 4 receivers for King. 1:10 to go with no timeouts. The touchdown ties it. Pass. Oh, what a play! Intercepted ball game! Go home, Denver! You're undefeated!
And Cam, I think a ball that's just thrown a little bit ahead of the receiver. He had to jump, full body jump to try and get it. But you're right. What a great athletic play by number 45 and stealing this game, McCree. And look, it's just been a terrible game for King when it comes to turnovers.
Oh my goodness. King now with 11 interceptions in the last 2 games. Chicago's on a 2-game losing streak. And the Denver Nightwings are still at the top of the league, and I don't know how anybody can say at this point this team is not the best in the league. This was an absolutely gutty performance on the road.
Yeah, you got to remember, this one is coming into a place where Chicago typically plays really well. And although they had their opportunities and they certainly weren't perfect tonight, Denver did what they needed to do to come away with the win, and that's what you want to see out of that team. You don't want to see a team that's blowing out teams every week, because if they ever get down, Cam, just don't know how they're going to respond to that. Well, here clearly Denver responded to having so much adversity, so many obstacles, come away with the victory. They truly are the only undefeated team in the league, and they are that for a reason. We saw that tonight.
This was a huge game. They're at New Orleans on March 11th. That is the toughest game by record still left on their schedule. But they've got still 3 games on the road. They play Houston next week, who got the big win at home. Their offense is playing a lot better in recent weeks. But what a finish for Denver. This is looking at least like a playoff team right now. But they have put the league on notice tonight. What a fourth quarter, and what a comeback down 10.
Yeah, Cam, and I think if you're Chicago, you've got to realize that you ran into a bit of a buzzsaw tonight in this undefeated team that's just on a tremendous roll. But if maybe one or two interceptions don't take place, you come away with the win here. I think you can take some solace in that, but Cam, they can't rest on their laurels too long. They've got some big games after their bye week at Alaska, at Houston, versus Mexico City, and then finish off the season at Tallahassee. So Chicago, close to figuring things out, but they are going to be tested a lot this upcoming season.
What a game left, or what a game tonight. T. Pattern, Eddie, DR Sim, Lloyd, Graham, Swole, 2011, Monty RX, Eddie Gage, Pilgrim, Black Star in the chat room. An unbelievable turnaround season, 3-9 last year, and the Denver Nightwings are 6-0. Not too late to look ahead to the Week 8 schedule, because your fan night voting is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Carolina, Tulsa, Tallahassee, and Alaska already in prime time. But opportunities for fan night game of the week next week. Mexico City at Dallas, offense versus defense in that one. Queen City takes on Vancouver. Baltimore and Indianapolis. New Orleans and Sioux Falls. Houston at Denver. London at Oklahoma City. San Francisco at St. Louis, and Vegas at Atlanta. And whatever you choose, we're going to be hyped up, because I'm sure it's going to be one heck of a ball game.
Yeah, it was tonight, and like we've said, very rarely do the fans steer us wrong. They watch these games, they know these teams, and they always pick a great one for us. And Cam, some great matchups tomorrow night. This week isn't done. Atlanta, Sioux Falls, San Francisco at Baltimore, Carolina at New Orleans. Boy, just some terrific matchups. And football hasn't ended here in the SFL. Really, it's really just beginning.
It really is. Just halfway through a season that will figure out another champion at the end of April. Highlights aplenty in that second half as they continue to roll on. Giacomo Jones answered, responded to E.T. King's score, and it just done so in incredible fashion. That was the touchdown that could have been.
Yeah, and you know, Armstrong trailing behind Torres there got burned. But it was just his night tonight, Cam, and the ball falls in his lap as he's going out of bounds. I mean, just scripted so well here at the end, and this defense, got to give them a lot of credit. A lot of people talk about Denver's offense, not much about their defense. We should talk about them more.
Extraordinary Everest player of the game is Jared McChesney, 28 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns tonight. And he was as advertised. Chicago did their best, but it wasn't enough as Denver gets the win here in Chicago. Unbelievable ball game. Well, for Andy Hamilton and our live stats crew, we appreciate you all. Steven, it's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
What a ball game. From Chicago, this has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League. Good night from the Thunderdome.
Yakety yak.